Hi there, very good day to everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today in your strategic human resources management. Tonight's topic is talent acquisition, acquiring talent for your organization to put them on board. Now, this is a special topic for companies because getting the right person to work with you as a working partner on board to do work for you, to produce things for you, to produce services for you, to look after your customers, to make sales, to bring in profit, to make your organization live and survive. And that's highly risky and highly difficult as well because so many reasons. Another reason would be short supply of human resources. We might say that the people are unemployed because there's no job. Okay, now I heard Canadian sowing economy, the downturn, the political issues, the overloaded migrants and so on. There are issues, and most of you guys say the job I'm in, it's in line. I may get sacked, I may get fired at any time. You have an idea. You always expect that something, anything may happen tomorrow, and they may make you redundant and so on. When you look into this context, we may think that there is no job in the world, that it's difficult to find a job because short supply jobs. And do you know there are so many companies that are suffering without the right candidates? They have vacancies, they have jobs, they have the money to pay for, they have vacant positions, they have tables and computers waiting on inside the office, but they are fighting to get the right candidates. That's difficult. Okay, short supply of human resource. That is another huge issue here. The problem is this: there are jobs you don't have enough people because they are not competent to work on that position. You don't have the right skills and the competencies to work for that. And finding the right guy with those skill sets, the competency set, it's difficult for them. So that's difficult. In most cases, you would have seen in your organization that people walks inside, they immediately leave because that organization isn't the right fit for them. The reason is not because the job is hard. It's not because uh, the job is not easy for them or it is too easy. There are so many other reasons as well. One of the reasons is because you are not compatible with the talent requirement, the skill requirement of that position. You are not compatible. You can't do the work. For example, let's say if somebody hire you to work for a position, you might have to work with some softwares. You might have to work with some machineries. You might have to work with some difficult clients. And if you don't know how to handle those people, if you don't know how to handle those softwares, if you don't know how to cope up with this work requirement, you are not the right fit. So companies fire you because you're not the right fit. Okay, so it's difficult for companies to hire people. That is why it is a big deal acquiring the talents. Okay, now when you want to get people, you have two options. Number one is the internal recruitment, internal hiring. The other one is the external hiring. Let me give the shorter definition for these two. Internal hiring means you hire someone from your existing workforce. That is internal hiring. External hiring is you hire someone from external sources, not from your internal existing workforce. For example, if a university want to start some law lecturing, law faculty, they may hire a lecturer who is inside already teaching some other business subjects. If he has a law degree, you can hire him. So you are getting the personnel inside from your existing workforce. This is internal hiring. External means if you're starting some computer science faculty, if you don't have any computer science engineers or people with master's and bachelor's degree in computing, you may go to the market, advertise, call for some applications, interview them, find out the right candidate, and put them on board. That is about external hiring because that guy was not already in your payroll. That is external hiring. Okay. Now, internal hiring is comparatively easier in some terms. The external hiring is comparatively highly risky. The reason is because internal hiring, you know the personnel already, you have already interviewed him, you know what he has been doing for your organization, and you can guess immediately what he could do for you as well in the future if you give this new position for him, if you give this new opportunity for him, because you know the guy already. He's in your payroll. You have met him multiple times, and he is with you. So that is low risky. But if you bring in some external hiring, external parties to work for a position, you don't know the guy. You do this recruitment based on pure guess, pure prediction. You see the CV. CV is the past history of someone. You write your CV. CV is your biodata. It is your biography, what happened in the past. Based on that, human resource managers make a judgment how this guy is going to perform in coming next 5 years. If they positively predict you, they hire you. If it is negative, they lose, they dismiss you. They don't select you. They dismiss your application. This is what the external hiring is about. So external hiring, you cannot make the right prediction based on the past. It's difficult. They have the past history. Fine. How can you uh, be confirmed that this guy is going to perform in a way? You just make a prediction. Based on that prediction, you hire it. So that's highly risky. The reason is because hiring is not cheap. That is not easy. That is not cheap. It costs a lot of money, lots of time, 5 6 interviews, too many advertisements, too many people involvement, too much of time, your boardroom, training and all those kind of things cost you a lot of money. So external hiring is risky. Okay. Internal hiring is easy for you to integrate because the guy is already with your workforce. So if he wants to work with another department now, it is easy because he knows already. Let me explain this point. Integration is very easy for internal hiring. For example, if I'm a lecturer lecturing for business subjects, if the law faculty of the same university wants me to lecture, I can do some law subjects for them, maybe contract law, maybe criminal law, maybe law of tort. So if I want to teach this subject for a different department of the same university, I know the people already. I know the coordinators. I know the law faculties, the lecturers and the staff already because I'm in the university already. So I just go walk inside the faculty, ask the coordinator, where's my classroom? I just walk inside and start teaching. Easy. Because I have been already integrated. I have been already mingled with this existing workforce, internal hiring. But if you bring in an external party, you have to bring him around, show him everyone, introduce everyone to them, and he doesn't know who to work with, who to speak to what. That takes time. Okay, so those are all negativity and the positivity of internal and external hiring. However, universities or companies, organizations, they prefer internal hiring for some reason and they prefer external hiring for some other reasons as well. Let me explain one thing, that the external hiring is more beneficial than internal hiring. For example, let's say if I'm a university, if I bring a lecturer from my competing partner, another university that is in the market, if I bring in an employee from that university to work for me, that is external hiring, that will give me the exposure of my competitor. He can bring in all what's happening in that university, so I can clearly do some adjustments to make my business a better business. Okay, so that is external hiring, the benefit of external hiring. So you got to decide whether to go for internal hiring or external hiring, depending on the time availability, depending on the resources availability, depending on the internal supply of your human resource as well. You don't do internal hiring because you have people inside. You have to have the right personnel inside. If you don't have a lawyer to teach law, you have to definitely go outside. You cannot ask one of the guys already existing inside to teach some law. He doesn't know what to teach, so you can't do it. So you have to have the internal supply, then you choose to go with that, or maybe you choose to go from elsewhere. Okay, right. Now, when you want to get people to work for you, there are three types of people in the market. Number one, the active seekers. Type one, active seekers. They actively look for jobs. What they do, they write CVs, they look for career websites, they go for job websites, employment websites. They serve all the companies vacancies and they apply 25 30 applications daily. They send their CVs to companies. We call them active seekers. Okay, the passive seekers are people, they don't look for job, they're not looking for anything, they don't look for any advertisements and so on, but if some company offer them a good position, they may consider. For example, if a telecommunication company, let's say, if a company wants a CEO for that company, you may hit the CEO of the other company to come and work for you. For example, if Toyota needs a CEO to work for them, uh, they may knock the door off the CEO of Nissan. But when you call the guy, you can find the guy elsewhere. When you call the guy, you can ask him, okay, we are Toyota and we know you're working for Nissan, and I give you a better offer than what you could get from Nissan. Would you work for us? You contact the guy personally, you offer him, and he is not looking for a job to work as a CEO for Toyota. He is okay with what he is. He is fine with his job. He is not looking for anything. But if you offer, you tell him, I pay you more allowances, I pay you more commissions, I pay you more sales benefit, I pay you your holidays, 2 3 holidays a year, I pay you your switching cost, your replacement costs if you go from here to there, from your company to my company, you may have to switch your family to this new city and so on. What can I do about it? I can bear all those costs. So if you offer these kind of things, he may consider, okay, why don't you go for Toyota instead of Nissan? And if he decides yes, he may bargain with you, he may negotiate the offer with you, and he gives the notice to Nissan, I'm leaving the company in 1 month's time, and he can assign duties with you. Okay, so that's about the passive candidate. He is not looking for a job, but if you are offered, you pick it. That is passive. The non-seekers are the third candidate, third party, third type of people, in fact, and they are not happy to accept any offers that you offer them as well either. They don't. It may bring them better opportunities, it may offer them big things, but they would say, no, what I'm doing is fine. I'm okay with it. I don't want to go for anything. I don't want to switch this company. I am fine with it. These people may be at the late 60s, 70s. So they want to retire from the same company. They may be closer to the retirement age. Otherwise, they may be living in a city where they have their family with, so they want to live for that company, sorry, work for that company and live in that same city. So if you even get a better position somewhere else, they would say, no, I'm fine with what I'm doing. I'm fine with where I am now. With my family, I'm spending too much of time or enough time with my family, and I'm still working for this company, so I'm fine with it. These kind of people are the people we call non-seekers. Okay. Now, the reason why I explained these three type of people in the labor market is this: it is easy for a company to hire an active seeker. The reason is because active seekers, when they are actively looking for job, you become passive. Meaning, when they ask a job, you tell them, okay, I give you a job, but this is the price. If you want to work, otherwise, no. Because you become powerful. They are actively seeking. When they come behind you, you tell all your demands. You tell them, like, no, not really. I don't want this, and I have a question like this, and that's the job. You do all of this. This is the price. If you like it, do it. Otherwise, forget it. That's how you're going to treat, because they are active, you are passive. You know, in your personal life, if you become active, the other people become definitely passive, right? But if you're passive, they become active to come behind you, right? So if you are dealing with a passive candidate, you have to accept all the offers he wants, all the points that he negotiates. You have to say yes to him. Otherwise, he would say, no, no, forget me. I'm okay with what I'm doing. But if you want me to work for you, this is what the deal. If you have the deal in your mind, please let's do. Otherwise, leave it. Forget it. That's how it goes. So the message for employees, I would say most of the students in the class today, most of you are employees. I would say, no, I don't think most of you are business people, I know. But anyway, there are employees, right? So people, whoever you work for company, if you actively follow your HR manager, if you actively follow some companies, the deal you get is going to be in favor of the company. You're not going to get the deal that you want, because you are active, they become automatically passive. So try to be passive. Okay, I teach you how to be passive, how to get people to call you to work for them. Okay, you never call the company to give you a job. You get the company to offer you the job, and you go and say, okay, let me do this, and this is a deal. Okay, you have to become active. And when I say this, you may laugh for yourself. Not really. There are people and powerful people. Companies want those people to work for them. Companies go behind them. They offer everything what they want. They are so passive employees. So employees, if you are an employee, if you are looking for job, always be passive. Let the company be active. How to be? I'll teach you later in a different subject. The second part is about if you are an employer, a businessman, always be passive. Don't let your employees to be passive. If you are passive, you give the deal. If they are passive, they give you the deal, you have exit. Okay, so the message for employees, try to become passive, don't be active. And the message for companies, organizations, hiring managers, the message for you is to be passive, don't be active. Right. Okay. So having said that, let's go to the next part of it, which is this. The traditional method of talent acquisition, there are different ways that you can acquire talents. Okay. The traditional method is this job advertisements. Okay. What you do, you advertise jobs on newspapers, on social media, on career websites. There are so many websites. They advertise opportunities and jobs for the others. So you can post your jobs there, job advertisements. The reason why HR is struggling, you know, we know about sales. Okay, if you want to sell a car, it's hard work, not easy. If you want to sell a course for a student, it's not easy. Okay, you got to convince the person to buy the course from you. If you are a student, you have to convince the customers to buy your burgers and pizzas. It's not easy, right? It's sales. And today's context is this: jobs are also something companies sell for candidates. Jobs are sold. The HR managers should have the sales skills to sell their jobs because people, they have opportunities to work for companies from anywhere in the world, for companies anywhere in the world. Okay, you may be in the south of the world, or in fact in the east of the world, but the job may be in the west part of the world, and you can still work for that company. You may get paid in dollars, euros, and sterlings. Okay, so they have access to the job market internationally, cross the border. They go across your immigration borders, and they get the job. Okay, the laws in foreign countries are relaxed as well. Okay, earlier days, you have to have the document. Documented workers are only allowed to work for, and today that is relaxed. People, if you have the talent, if you are living overseas, if you don't have the right to work inside that country, even you can still get work for those companies. For example, if you are inside the UK, if you are not a documented immigrant, if you don't have the right document to work, you can't get a job. But people living in Sri Lanka, they have no right of work to work in UK companies. When they're inside, they still find jobs from Colombo to work for that company, and they get paid in dollars and sterlings. Okay, so the job market is accessible by people. It's because your job market is not cheap anymore. You got to pay a lot. When people get paid in dollars and sterlings, if you offer them to pay them in taka, in rupees, in rupiah, that's not going to go. They will say, "Oh, keep your rupees, mate. I want some strong currency to work for. I don't want to get caught in inflation. I don't want these weaker currencies or cheaper currencies." Okay, so sales of jobs is a traditional method. The reason why I'm calling traditionally, you got to sell, you got to post these advertisements in multiple mediums. You may have to go to the newspaper, the social media, and so on. So you have to go to multiple places to find some candidates. And you might have seen on the newspaper, on these job sites, same advertisements are repeated multiple times. Why? Because they did not find the candidate last week, so they post it this week. No candidate next week, week after, you continue. When you see the same advertisement posted by the same company, you can understand several things. Number one would be there are no people to get a job. That may be the reason why they are doing it. Or otherwise, there are no people in the market to apply for that job. People, they don't want to take this job. That's one reason. The other reason is there are no trained people for that position as well. So there are possibilities for different things. Now, I'm talking on the point of view of a human resource manager. When you add these advertisement continuously to post in all these things, you are becoming active. You go behind people. This is a good place to work for. This is a salary I offer you. Look at this advertisement. Apply now. I give you a good offer. Okay, you go behind them. That is job advertisement, and that is traditional. It is about the sales of job. And I advise you all the time: don't sell a job. Get the people to find you to work for. Then the deal is in your favor. Right. The next thing is about career fairs, traditional method. Again, uh, we have examples. You may see advertisements on newspapers saying that there's a job fair, career fair. Companies are in those career fair and they're waiting for candidates. Just walk inside, face an interview, get a job. Okay, my question is, if BMW is appearing in a career fair, do you think BMW is looking for some candidates to work for them? Okay, let me ask you this question to make it even easier, simpler. A state university in a country like India, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, they also come to the career fair to get people to work for those universities. State university I'm talking about. Do you think University of Colombo, University of Lahore, are they looking for lecturers from this career fair? The answer is no. BMW comes in, they want engineers. Do you think engineers who could build the driving machine, BMW, they look for jobs like this in career fair? No, they are more of passive candidates. They're not that. So the point is, the question is why BMW is here for in career fair. They never come to this career fair to find people to work for them, but they come there. It's because to tell the people we are a company, we are the car company, we build your ultimate driving machine for you to drive. We are growing. We need more people to work for us. We are in the market to deliver this message. Only they come inside. Okay, so now it doesn't mean that companies they never recruit people from here. There are companies, initial cleanings, they come to this career fair, they want some cleaners. Okay, yes, go ahead. McDonald's, they may come there, they may pick some crew members to work for them. That's okay. I'm talking about big professional white collar job. Okay, these companies they never recruit people from here, but this is a traditional method. Companies get use of to get some people. The next part is about the contingent workforce. Now, you might have heard of it if you work in Canada. Most of you have students from Canada now. You guys may be working for an agent, okay, human resource suppliers. Okay, you work for an agent, and those agents they have contract with the employer, and you go and work for them, and you get the salary. The suppliers they get the deal. Let me explain this to you. You might have experienced it. We call them agency workers. What is it about? Let's say there's a garment in your country, and the government needs some casual or I would say temporary workers for a month to manage the customer, manage the Christmas busy production. So they can't recruit people permanently for work for them because when the Christmas is over, your company become quiet. You don't have enough orders to stitch. So what you do, you contact a supplier, human resource supplier, and tell him, I want about 25 people to work for this company for this Christmas season, and I give you this amount of money. And they say, okay, we give you the money. So what they do, they go to the labor market. The suppliers, they go to the labor market, they recruit people, and they send the people to work for the government. So the suppliers have the job employment contract with the people, and the supplier has the the contract with the company. That is the agreement. That is the company's agreement to supply these 20 people. So employees are not of the government; they are of the suppliers, and company pays the government pays the money to the supplier. Suppliers pays the salary to their employees. This is a roadmap. We call this contingent workforce. This is again a traditional method because you're not looking for the correct talent here. You just want somebody to manage your workforce, manage your operations for some short period of time, and you just kick them out. That is contingent workforce. That is also part of it. Now, This is the next method. This is also traditional method because you go behind people. When I say traditional method, if the company goes behind people, when the company is active and the employees are passive, we call it traditional methods. Okay, here the executive search. When I mean executive search, we are talking about executives. When I mean executives, we call them C-suite employees, CEO, Chief Executive Officer, CFO, Chief Financial Officer, COO, Chief Operational Officer, and there are so many C-suites, Chief Marketing Officer, Chief Investment Officer, Chief Learning Officer. They are the biggest people in the organization for that particular department. Now, for these positions, companies search for people. For example, if Audi wants the CEO, they never advertise for CEO's position in the newspaper, because if you see an advertisement for a CEO for a big company, that is not a company to be a CEO. CEOs are not found on advertisements. CEOs are found individually, personally, through personal contacts. So Audi needs a CEO, then you may look for the CEO of Porsche. Daimler Chrysler wants a CEO, and then we may look for the CEO of Mercedes-Benz. We approach the CEO of Mercedes-Benz and tell the guy, I'm Daimler Chrysler, you are both inside Germany. So what you do, I offer you, you move over to the US. I give you all your switching costs. I give you better school for your kids. I give you better accommodation, better facilities, right? 5, 6 times holiday to Germany back and forth. I give everything. If you want to come and take over the heat, the operations of Daimler Chrysler. If you want, come to us. I give you this. And tell us what you want. We are happy to consider those. This is when we talk about the executive search. You search for people around. For a position that you have, you search for people and you find out, okay, these are the right guys that I want to speak to do this executive search. And again, you're going behind people. When you knock the door of the CEO of Mercedes-Benz, he would say, no, man, I'm fine in Germany and I have my family living over here, and what I get is much more than what I need. So why should I move? You find someone, you have your GMC inside, you have your what else? The other companies, Renault inside. Find those company CEOs there. Let me work for my company. Okay, so that way, so they refuse you or they demand you more. Is when we call this the executive search is traditional method. Now, the next thing is about the campus recruitment. You go to the universities. That happens in the UK very, very frequently. Usually in summer holidays, companies they walk inside universities and they wait on the university halls, maybe in the grounds, and university students, when they have the summer holidays, they want to work for some short period of time. So they walk inside those companies and ask them, okay, I'm so and so. I've done my second year now. I'm qualified with it, and I would like to take a job with you. Would you have some opportunity for me? That way, it happens. Like campus recruitment, where it's again traditional. Okay, so that is campus recruitment, right? Now, the next is about the employee referrals. Employees may refer their friends, their family members from their network to get a job for you. So if you say that I have if you say, if you're a company, you call your employees and say, dear my employees, I have a position for this. Can you please tell me, can you please introduce someone from your network? Let me tell you the example that happened yesterday. Your lecturer, Mahima Rajapaksha, she's going to take your lectures next week. She posted an advertisement that was posted to her from her permanent full-time university saying they need someone to teach personal tax law, one subject. So she forwarded that to me and said, do you know anybody that can take this subject, taxation, personal tax? And I said, let me forward that to my network and see if there's anyone. Let me introduce them to you. So when that guy goes to the university she works for, we call this employee referral. Again, you're going behind the people. Can you do some teaching, taxation, personal taxation for my students in my university? Now, they would say, no, no, I'm busy, man. I don't have time to do this. But, I may do some online. Is it okay with you? You really need them to teach them physically, but you tell them, okay, I'm available. I can do this, but the deal is this. Let me do online. No no physical things. If it is the case, I do. If you say, okay, can you do 2 classes online, 2 classes physically? You would say, no, no, maybe once a month I would meet the students physically, and the rest of the days I'll do it online. And if they agree, okay, fine. And but surprise, they would say, $25 an hour. I don't know, that's not enough. You would say $50. That's a deal. Okay, here you go. That is how it works. Okay, employee reference. Again, that is traditional method. Okay, right. Now, the next part is about the social recruiting. What is this about? Uh, this is about, this is a law. A player knows a player. That's the rule of it. That's the basic concept of it. Now, let me tell you this. Now, you would have heard some noise around when I'm lecturing here because there is one aluminium worker working here. He's cutting certain aluminium bars here to do some fitting with. I'm in the university now. I'm in the office. So I'm lecturing this while I'm in my boardroom. There is some work going on. Okay. Now, this guy, okay, he is an aluminium worker, right? In the meantime, there's a mason as well. He is working on the third floor to fix some tiles. Okay. So I wanted a mason and an aluminium fitting technician. Right now, what is this example to connect this to the social recruit? Now, I called this mason and I asked him, I want another mason to do some concrete work on the top floor. Do you know anyone? He gave me 5, 6 names. I don't know any of them, but he knows them. That is what I mean. A player knows a player. Let me simplify this. A mason knows another mason. A lawyer knows another lawyer. A lecturer knows another lecturer. The reason why Mahima sent me the tax law subject to me, she thinks I'm a lecturer and I might know some of the lecturers who teaches tax, personal tax law, so that I can introduce them. Okay, so a player knows a player. Okay, a driver knows a driver. If you ask a driver, I need a driver to travel from this distance, that distance, can you come and do that for us? I pay you the money. He would say, no, no, but I introduce you some other driver because he knows a driver. Okay, right. Now, this is how you find people whom you don't know. You need a driver. You speak to one driver. That driver is not willing to work for you, but he may introduce someone. So if he says no, you ask him, okay, fine. If you don't want to work for us, it's okay. But can you introduce me another driver? He may introduce you. Is the social connection. Let me explain this in detail how it works. If you want a lecturer to work for your university, working in Wolverhampton University, there's a lecturer inside Wolverhampton University. You want him to do some tax subject for you, but you don't know anyone within the university. So what you do, you go to your social media, find a lecturer who works inside Wolverhampton University. He may be your friend. So in your social network, he is your friend. You find him and ask the guy, Mr. John, I want Tony to work for me. He is the lecturer lecturing already inside Wolverhampton University. He is teaching taxation. Can you get me in touch with him? When you ask his, he would say, okay, let me speak to him. And when he speaks to him, because he's his colleague inside the university, they both work together. When he speaks to him, he would say, okay, let me speak to the university, ask them to call me. Is my number, in my number. So you call that guy. This is how you find people. This is what we call social connection, social network, social recruiting. So if you want someone to work for you, you know the guy, you have heard of him, he's somewhere, but you don't have any touches with him. So what you do, you find your friend, he'll find his friend, and he will find him because he is his friend. So that is how it works. Okay, so this is what we call the social recruitment. Okay, right. This is not social media recruitment. That's different. This is different. Social media is about you go on social media to find people on the platform. Social recruitment is about you go through your social connection and find the guys. Okay, so that is about social recruitment. That is again traditional because you go behind people. is about social media recruitment. As I told you before, you advertise on social media, you find people on social media, and you recruit them. Okay. And finally, is about the guerrilla recruiting. This means this is outdated, but still it is appearing. You might have seen people uh, without any clothes on, naked. They go across cricket grounds, football grounds, and the match is played. And the match is on its crucial time. They cross the ground, they interrupt the match. Something written on the body. Okay, this is just an idea, but there are ideas like this. When you send this message written on the spine of a bare body, the message is passed on to the whole world across without anybody missing. You don't miss anyone. The message is sent. What's the message? We have a vacancy for you. That's the message. If you send this, you would, and there are so many ideas to send the message across like this. Okay, whatever that happens, whatever something that goes weird, you send a message through that, and people get alerted. People get attracted to listen to and to watch it. In fact, so your message is gone across, and you alert people to apply. You send an advertisement through that event. Okay, so that is the initial part of it. We have learned about the traditional recruitment methods today. And that is it for me from me tonight. And we will be talking about the strategic talent recruitment. In fact, the passive recruitment of employees in the next session. Till then, have a good day. Thank you very much. I see you again. Have a good day.